Hi there, gorgeous. Hope you're having a fabulous day. If you're new to the channel, welcome to you. I make videos like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so if you'd like to be notified of new ones in the future, please subscribe, and thank you in advance if you do. Today, it's a battle of video. I am putting 11 liquid eyeliners from the drugstore to the test. I'll show you what they look like on initial application, talk about the qualities for each one, and then I've also included a wear test so you can see how they wear throughout the day. I do want to let you know up front that for some of these liquid eyeliners, to help speed up the time it took me to make this video, I wore 2 on my eyes for the entire day of testing. So when you see me show only one eye, it's because I only put that liquid eyeliner on that one eye that day. So that is what you'll be seeing in some of the wear tests when I show them to you up close. Also, I would like to say before we get too far into the video here that makeup is not a one-size-fits-all. What works for me may not work for you, what works for you may not work for me. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. I like putting videos like this together so that you can make an informed decision and hopefully save some money on products that may not work so well for you, but possibly find something that you absolutely love. First liquid eyeliner that I put to the test was the Milani Stay Put Matte 17-Hour Wear Liner. This has a very rich black and matte finish and an incredibly soft applicator, which was really easy to use. Because this one is so fluid, it's very easy to make a mistake with it. That was probably the only thing I didn't like about this eyeliner, because you had to be so careful when you were applying it. Otherwise, you're not drawing straight lines and there were blips that you had to clean up. So this is one you have to take a little bit more time with when you're applying it. And I was really hoping this one was going to be the best eyeliner out of the bunch, because I love a matte finish personally, and I really love how this one looked after the initial application. But after wearing it for a total of 12 hours on my eyes, it cracked on the inner corners, which I was so disappointed to see this, and it fell apart. Now, it didn't run or smudge, but it didn't hold up on the inner corners of the eyes, and that's extremely important to me. And if you're wondering if there are any eyeliners out there that will hold up on the inner corners, yes there are. Just wait. The next one that I tested out was another one from Milani. This is their Eye Touch Extreme Liquid Eyeliner. Again, you get a very rich matte black finish, very easy to apply, smooth results. It's a lot easier to apply this one as opposed to the one I talked about previously. Could be because it's a little bit of a drier formula and it's a pen, a little easier to work with too. No bleeding, no feathering with this formula. I was most pleased with the initial results with it. And after wearing it for 12 hours on my eyes, it wore extremely well. It did not fall apart on the inner corners, didn't bleed, didn't flake, looked gorgeous at the end of the day. So I have been loving this one since I first discovered it a few weeks back. I cannot recommend it enough. Next one that I tested out comes from L'Oreal's Infallible line. This is their Flash Cat eyeliner. Super rich pigment with this one. Very easy to apply, and it will give you a matte black finish. This does include a cat eye wing tool on the cap that will assist you in being able to draw a wing. I didn't use it, quite honestly, I really didn't, but it looks like it could be a really great tool to have. It's very similar to the Beauty Blender one that looks like a guitar pick. I tested that one a long time ago, and it was actually really good. So I feel like it could help someone who is just beginning with creating wings, additionally to how great this formula was. And after wearing it for 12 hours on my eyes, no cracking, no bleeding, no feathering, didn't fall apart at all, looked beautiful. And it's another one that I can safely say it's a must-have, a must-buy. You would not be disappointed in this one at all. And I've seen a lot of requests to test more makeup products from the brand BH Cosmetics. So I found out that they also make a liquid eyeliner. I wanted to test it as part of this video. With this eyeliner, you get a very rich pigment, intense color payoff, no bleeding, no feathering on initial application. It does have a rather thick applicator tip. It's not too flexible, but it's not scratchy against the eyes, so it was pretty comfortable to use in application. The finish is rather glossy. It's not matte, so it's more high shine than the previous eyeliners that I've shown you so far. And on the day that I was testing this one, again, I wore it for 12 hours. This seems to be a theme with all of these eyeliners. Unfortunately, this one broke apart on the inner corner and cracked and looked pretty bad by the end of the day. I was not impressed with this one at all. From the JCat Beauty line, they have a liquid eyeliner called Rock and Glitz. Obviously, I was not expecting a matte finish with this one, and it was not advertised to have a matte finish. It's more of a metallic but very glossy look on the eyes. Flexible applicator tip, extremely easy to apply. I didn't have any problem with getting the fluid out of the applicator, and I felt like it glided right onto the eyes. No bleeding, no feathering to speak of, which was really nice to see. It seems like a lot of these drugstore companies have figured out not to do that with their liquid eyeliners, because this used to be a huge problem I was always running into, but I didn't run into that with any of the eyeliners I'm sharing with you here today, thankfully. On this day, I wore it for a straight 12 hours once again, and unfortunately it faded on the inner corner. I mean, you can see it right there. It disappeared. It just went away. It didn't flake, so I don't know exactly where it went, but it just disappeared, and I was not happy to see this. So this is one that I would not recommend trying. Profusion Cosmetics also has their own version of a liquid eyeliner. I'm not sure if this is brand new or not. It was sent to me recently as part of PR, so great timing for this video. I wanted to include it. Very precise applicator with this one, and it's extremely easy to draw onto the eye. It gives you extremely sharp, thin lines, so it's excellent if you want a very precise look or if you want a really sharp wing on the outer corner. It does have an extremely glossy finish to it, so it is not matte, but it did not bleed, did not feather, and it looked beautiful after the initial application. And on the day that I tested this one, I wore it for a straight 9 hours, and it looked like I had just applied it. Didn't have any issues with this eyeliner whatsoever. I thought it was extremely beautiful. So I was really happy with this one, and the price for it is really great for what you're getting. Another liquid eyeliner that I tried is from NYX's line. This is their matte liquid liner. It has an extreme black matte finish, which I love. I'm just gonna say it again. I love how this one looks. This is how an eyeliner should look, in my opinion. This one has a bit of a different applicator as opposed to the pens that I've shown you so far. It's similar to the Milani one that I talked about in the beginning, but the applicator is very smooth. It can be troublesome to work with though, because it's so easy to make a mistake, and the fluid is fluid, for lack of a better word. But it does glide onto the eyes, and because it's so fluid, you're not going to run the risk of having those bumps that you might get with other eyeliners. So it's really easy to make straight lines with it when you just swipe it across the upper lash line. And on the day that I tested this one, I wore it for 9 hours, and I'm very happy to show you that it did not crack. It did not fall apart. No bleeding whatsoever. It held up extremely well. And one of the things that I noticed with this liner that I have not ever encountered with any other eyeliner since I've been making YouTube videos, I'm just gonna say it, when I took my lashes off at the end of the night, they didn't take any of the liner with them at all. And for those of you who wear lashes, you know what I'm talking about. When you take the lashes off, sometimes it takes the liner with it, and that's to be expected. It's not a big deal because you're washing the makeup off. But the fact that the lashes did not pull any of this NYX liner off with them, and the line was completely intact, I was blown away by that. That told me that this is a really excellent quality liner, and it was going to stay put much longer than what I tested it for. It was one that was rather hard to remove. Later on, I'll just let you know that I had a little bit of difficulty removing it, but I don't care. That just means that it's going to stay put. So highly, highly, highly recommend this one if you've been looking for one with the qualities that I mentioned. Another L'Oreal liner that I tested is their Voluminous Liner Noir. Again, a very rich matte black pigment with this one, extremely easy to apply. No bleeding, no feathering, and it had a really excellent applicator also. I was most impressed by how this one glided right onto the eyes. Sadly, after only 9 hours of wear, it smudged on the inner corner and moved around a lot on the inner corner, and I'm really hoping that it comes across on camera because I felt like this was going to be one that was going to be hard to capture that day, but I was so disappointed by this one. It did not meet my expectations, and I really expected that it would based on my experience with the Flash Cat eyeliner from L'Oreal that I talked about previously, but nope. Neutrogena. I don't feel like this brand is talked about enough on YouTube. Do you feel the same way? It's one of those brands that has some really great quality products, but you don't hear much about them. Anyway, they have a precision liquid liner that I wanted to test out as part of this video. Had very high reviews online, so that's why I wanted to include it here. Fully black pigment with this one, but it does have a very glossy finish to it. The applicator is extremely easy to use with this one, so I didn't have any issues there. I didn't notice any bleeding, feathering, nothing of the sort on application, and I thought, despite it being glossy, it looked rather good on the eyes. And after 9 hours of wearing this one, unfortunately it smudged and it fell apart on the inner corners of the eyes. Now, it wasn't as bad as some other eyeliners that I've shared with you previously in this video, but I still can't get on board with an eyeliner like this, and it's not one that I personally would use in the future based on how it looked at the end of the day here. Ulta had a felt tip eyeliner that had rave reviews, so I wanted to test it out as part of this video. I picked up the shade Brown, so this is one that I tested on both eyes on the day that I did the wear test with it. I noticed initially that it had great pigment and an excellent applicator tip that glides right onto the eye. It does have a semi-gloss finish, so it's not fully matte, but it's not full gloss either. And that I really didn't mind, simply because it wasn't screaming gloss on my eye. I mean, I typically go for a matte eyeliner simply because I don't want the eyeliner to be the attention of my look. I want my eyeshadow to stand out, and I want my eyeliner to take a back seat. And I think that's why I prefer a matte eyeliner over a more glossy formula. Now, after wearing this one for 10 hours, unfortunately it broke apart on the inner corners of my eyes, and it started to flake pretty badly. I did have high hopes for this one based off of the rave reviews that I read about it online, but that just goes to show you, once again, makeup is not a one-size-fits-all for everyone. So this is one that I would say try it out for yourself. You can always return it to Ulta if it doesn't work for you, but for me, it was a no-go. The last liquid eyeliner that I put to the test comes from the e.l.f. Cosmetics line. This is their Expert Liquid Eyeliner, and I picked up the shade Midnight, which should be a dark navy, but it looks black. I even tried pairing it up with a more blue look to see if that would pull some of the navy tones out, but it just looks straight black when I applied it to my eyes, unfortunately. The applicator is very similar to the NYX matte liner that I talked about previously, but this one is much more fluid by comparison, and it does not dry as quickly as the NYX matte liner does. So the problem with this one that I ran into was that when I would apply it on the inner corners of the eyes, because it was such a fluid consistency, it bled so quickly down onto my lower inner corner, and I was constantly wiping it out of the inner corner of my eye after application until it dried. And it doesn't dry that quickly either. It took quite a while for it to dry down, so I didn't really like that quality about this one. Now, after it has dried, it has a semi-gloss finish. On the day that I tested it, I wore it for a straight 11 hours, and unfortunately, it cracked and fell apart on the inner corners once again, and it just looked like a hot mess at the end of the day. I was not impressed at all. Overall, out of all the liquid eyeliners I tested for you here in today's video, the worst two for me would have to be the Milani Stay Put 17-Hour Wear Liner and the e.l.f. Expert Wear liquid eyeliner. I felt like those two were the most disappointing to me, and I really wanted more from them. But the best of the best of the best that I cannot recommend to you enough are the L'Oreal Flash Cat eyeliner, the Milani Eye Tech Extreme liquid eyeliner, and then of course that NYX matte liquid liner. If you're looking for a new one to try, I think you'd be most impressed with any one of those three. So if you're interested in any of the liners that I shared with you here today, I'll have all of them listed and linked for you below. They will be affiliate links. So if you click through, I'd like to say thank you in advance for helping to support this channel and our family. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Let me know what you would like to see done in a battle of video next. There's tons of products. It's been a long time since I've added anything new to this series, so I could potentially go back to older videos that I've done, like powders, foundations, concealers, BB creams, etc., and do a whole new battle of. So let me know your thoughts on what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. I'm trying so hard to get through this video. Seriously? Hi there, gorgeous. Ones in the future, please subscribe. Oh gosh. Can I stop burping? Oh, welcome to you. Please subscribe and thank you in advance if you do. Woof. This phone.